Joining me, their head coach, Tim Sheens. Tim, how does that label of favourites sit with you guys?
Well, you know, for the media and for the fans, it might be that we're favourites, but I think anyone in the business knows that it's going to be a very, very tough contest. And New Zealand, to my way of thinking, are the strongest I've ever seen New Zealand, and England also, with the form of some of the boys that have been playing in the NRL coming back to play for the nation, will make them as good as England have ever been as well. So, you know, we're ranked number one, but I wouldn't say we're favourites.
Does that still burn with some of the Australian public, perhaps, the defeat in 2008 to New Zealand?
Yeah, I would say so. Obviously, the expectation is on this team is to try and win that back. But we're not worried about winning the World Cup just yet. We're worried about just our pool and making sure that against England this week that we play our best football. Winning it won't guarantee the World Cup either, and nor losing it won't guarantee that you won't make the final either. But it is an important game to get off to the right start.
It's probably fair to say that you've probably got the best pool of talent to choose from. It must be very difficult to decide who to leave out sometimes.
Yeah, well, that can be a problem in itself too, because so many good players not getting a start. It's very, very important to keep a morale in the group. But everyone will get plenty of football in the first 3 weeks. So, you know, then if we come through that pool strongly and we're still in it, then we can then the decisions will become harder and harder based on form. But at the moment, reputation will probably pick most of the side, and then but it's about, you know, living up to that reputation. And against England in game one will be our biggest test.
Growing number of English players playing their trade in the NRL these days. What do you think that says about the quality of the players that Steve McNamara will have at his disposal this year?
Well, the NRL experience won't hurt. You know, Gareth Ellis came back from his experience a much better, more confident player. The big test for Steve obviously will be to get them to blend in with the group that are here. But, you know, the Burgesses have played, or Sam has anyway, has played with England. He was there in '09. He's played in the Australian 2010 tournament, I think, as well. I don't think it'll take much for them to fall back into line. And obviously the confidence that's gained by playing the Australian guys every week has got to be a bonus for England in that regard.
Been a lot of coverage this weekend, of course, with England's defeat to Italy. Embarrassment, a lot of people say. Do you hold any stock in that at all ahead of the first game?
None at all. If anything, it puts me on edge, because an embarrassed team can be a very dangerous team. But if I liken it to trials at home, we play a pre-season. Then when you step into your first game the next week, your competition game, the intensity is just chalk and cheese, really. So when you're talking about a trial match where England used 20 on an unlimited interchange, Italy used 24, conditions poor, and then you talk about a test match at Millennium in front of a big crowd, you know it's going to be a different intensity. So we have a huge respect for England. The English players that are playing in the NRL remind us of that every week. So yeah, I would like to think we're not complacent. I'll be working very hard to make sure we're not.